Can you remember the most successful sale you've ever had? Can you remember it? Remember who it was? What was it? I bet you it was not the person that came in waving a check and say, I'm ready to buy today. I can almost guarantee you that. The sale that fills you up with more pride, more energy, more, when you think back at it, it gives you goosebumps, usually is the one that is through the biggest fight, the biggest struggle, had the biggest obstacles to overcome, the biggest objections. And so I can tell you, besides getting my wife to marry me, getting my wife to marry was the greatest sale I've ever made. And I've had to keep reselling that 20 years. Here was a woman who, was studying to be a doctor and a lawyer and had her life completely laid out in front of her. And I threw complete disruption into it. And how I was able to sell her on me is the greatest sale that I've ever had. So let's take that one off the table because that sale will never be matched. The next best sale I ever had was this buyer who came in, and I sold against another national builder. When I was in new home sales, I was selling against another national builder in the same neighborhood. So anybody I saw, they saw. Now, they were $50,000, $60,000 cheaper than we were. They were the low, not the low cost builder, but they were the affordable play for sure. And so where model homes were literally 100 yards, if that, away from each other. And so I remember this couple came in. I'll leave the name out of it. But this couple came in, and they looked around. And they said, we just want to get decorating ideas. We're getting ready to buy from Brand X, this brand across the street. And which was the greatest thing in the world. Like, that was the best thing somebody could say to me, because now you have nothing to lose. I'm saying the greatest word in sales is yes. The next best word is no. Because once they said no, then I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't matter what I say. You're whatever. Okay. And so they said, matter of fact, we have an appointment in an hour to go back to go sign the contract. And we just wanted to see what this is about. And so an hour and a half later, that buyer was still in my model home, selling as a game of minutes. And I know that the salesperson, who was a friend of mine, was over there, and he could see their car sitting in front of my model home. And an hour and a half goes by, and I finally get them to agree that this is the home for them. They don't need to go over to this Brand X. And I said, all right, the next step is we're going to sit down and write this contract. They said, I know we really like it, but we had our minds fixated on that. I said, well, what's your heart telling you? They said, our heart is telling us here to spend the extra money because the value is worth it to buy here. And they end up buying there, and, the contract at that time, I'm old, so this is a while ago, the contract took about an hour and a half to do. And we write up the contract, and we go out on the lot, and the home site, and we take pictures, and they get in their car and leave. And that salesperson, the minute they pulled up, that salesperson came running out and said, Chad, I can't believe you stole that from me. I was calling them, and they weren't answering, and I saw their car in front of them. And it wasn't about stealing the sale from somebody else. It's about understanding that even when people's minds are 99.9% made up, you still have a shot.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
If you believe there's a chance, you'll move towards it, and that can be your greatest sale.